September 17th, 2009. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'd like to read you something by Cindy Sheehan. It's called the International People's Declaration of Peace. It's something that Cindy Sheehan's been working on. Just got the final version today. Preamble. We, the undersigned, as responsible citizens of this planet, hereby proclaim the urgent universal need for sustained security through peace for present and future generations of the human family. In order that we all may live and prosper in dignity, we acknowledge the need for a genuine worldwide commitment by all people to break the dehumanizing chains of the savageries of militarism, of economic exploitation, of slaveries, of torture, of killing, and of all aspects of the culture of war and brutality that compromise the very survival of civilization on this planet. We proclaim that the present geopolitical, economic, social system is fundamentally incapable of delivering us from the merchants of war and exploitation, and is completely devoid of offering positive alternative solutions. Thus, we come together as brothers and sisters to strive for peace and our collective freedom from violence and other oppressions. Declaration. We, the undersigned, as responsible citizens of this planet, do declare, first and foremost, the intrinsic value of each and every human being as equal, regardless of race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, marital status, age, or national origin. Even though we are individuals with both unique talents and needs, we are also united in the community of humanity. Enslavement to the establishment by military service is never an option, whether it is for economic reasons or patriotic fervor. We will actively resist for ourselves and for our children as far as humanly possible enlistment or forcible conscription into the armed services of our nations. The root of all war is profit, and we will not allow the war profiteers to own our labor or steal the fruits of that labor to be used solely for their greed of power and money. The insidious and uninterrupted preparations for war, along with the acts of war, are major environmental destroyers of this planet. In contrast, we will do all we are able within our families and communities to protect all life, conserve natural resources, and, as far as possible, utilize sustainable and renewable sources of energy. We will boycott news sources that promote war, division, and/or oppression. We're talking to you, Fox News. We will not buy into the culture of violence that is promoted by movies, video games, television programming, music, toys, or other popular culture. We will boycott products and our services from companies that profit from war and our companies that support nations that make war on others. We will remove ourselves as far as ideologically possible from our governments when unjust war is proposed, propagated, or conceived of in any other way. We will actively and courageously protest against wars, violence, and economic oppression, no matter who or what rule our nations. We will proclaim to our nation's families, friends, co-workers, neighbors, and others that using violence to solve problems is a disordered and barbaric choice. Except for legitimate and justified self-defense as a last resort, we refuse to use violence in our own lives and will explore, with our children and communities, many approaches to peaceful conflict resolution. Conclusion. War is the unspeakably evil pursuit of the establishment of this planet. Wars of aggression are inherently war crimes and crimes against humanity. We, the people of the world, suffer while the establishment grows wealthy from our sweat and blood. As a first step to breaking the cruel bonds that most governments hold over us, we firmly declare that peace is the moral imperative, and we reject violence in all forms, from personal to state-sanctioned violence. Since most wars are not the will of the people and are brought on by the will of governments at the behest of war profiteers, we firmly and with the highest conviction state that we are not enemies of each other, and we will stand in solidarity to declare peace with the entire planet. We, the undersigned of this declaration of peace, agree to help each other break these bonds of violence and oppression, and affirm our resolve to never again raise a clenched fist of violence against one another. Instead, we will join hands to lead this planet on the path of reconciliation, healing, and peace. So there you have it, the People's Declaration of Peace by Cindy Sheehan, and I think she had some help writing that. I'm not sure who. It may seem like it really means anything at first, the People's Declaration of Peace, right? Because the governments are the ones who have to declare peace. Well, actually, the more I think about it, the more I think this could actually work. But only if people hear it and believe in it and talk about it and make it a part of their lives. I mean, if a good proportion of the people in every country in the world were to commit themselves to this declaration, it would be very difficult for countries to make war. Just imagine if if they started to wage war and nobody would join the army. Or imagine if they tried to raise taxes for war and nobody would allow them to do it. Everyone would refuse to pay taxes. I mean, this is incredibly powerful. It could upset the current world order, in my opinion, but only if people know about it and believe in it and implement it, on a worldwide scale, which is possible. And you may not think that as a mere person, a mere human being, that you have a lot of power to change the world. Well, you have the power to change yourself. And if everyone takes that power into their hands and changes themselves, that's changing the world, And just remember this. I don't know if you know this, but you owe your life to one Soviet soldier. Everyone on this planet, every animal owes his or her or its life to one man, a common soldier in the Soviet army. Well, but he had the order to launch the nukes, and he countermanded that order. Even though he had no idea, he was fully under the impression that a nuclear war had been launched against Russia. And he was a member of a squadron of 3 submarines, and the other 2 commanders gave the order to launch. And he said no. And because he said no, you're alive. Thanks for watching.